work you've done and for being here today. Thank you. Jim?
Thank you, Charlie, and I do want to really welcome Representative Aker and Senator Boyd as well. I think the support that we get from the General Assembly for all the things we do at DFA is just critically important, and so just thank y'all for being here and always having our backs and helping us out. As Charlie mentioned, it's about a year ago, Governor Sanders launched the Arkansas Forward Initiative, and it was an opportunity that we all had as cabinet secretaries to go back to our departments and ask the question, are we doing all that we can to have both an effective and efficient state government? And out of that process, we've already identified about $300 million in savings that we should be able to realize as a state over the next several years. But again, it's not just about the efficiency measures, it's also about effectiveness. And every single time a customer comes into a DFA office, they should have an expectation that they're going to have a great customer experience. And so we as a team at DFA have been looking at our business processes, the way that we interact with our customers, and asking the question, are there things that we can do better, the things that we can do different to improve that customer experience for our Kansans? And we've identified already several initiatives, like last summer, in the summer, we announced that we're reducing fees. We reduced fees that are charged to our customers by about $2.4 million annually, which is a big impact for our Kansans who are struggling with all the effects of inflation. We also got some feedback that the customer experience at the point of sale at the counter was not all that it could be because we had some out-of-date equipment there, and that equipment was slowing down the time that was being spent at the counter. And so we realized we need to do a technology refresh, and we replaced about 800 different terminal devices in state revenue offices around the state to give that customer a quicker and better customer experience. When you have efficient state government, when you have effective state government, when you have a low tax burden, the way Arkansas has a low tax burden, we become an incredibly attractive state for people to call home. That's why Arkansas is leading the list in terms of states where people are choosing to move to. And so I'm happy to add to the list of reasons of why you want to call Arkansas home today with an announcement of two real strategic measures. The first thing that we're announcing today is the implementation of an appointment scheduling option for visiting our state revenue offices. Now, we have a lot of online transactions that can presently get done. For example, you can get your car tag renewed, a complete online interaction. You don't have to come into the state revenue office for that. But for some transactions, like updating your driver's license, getting a new driver's license picture, maybe you're buying a new car, coming into the office is what's required. And so if you're like me, because I'm a customer of DFA too, right? Every single adult Arkansan has to interact with us a couple of times a year through income taxes and when you get your car tags renewed, or if you're buying a new car. And so we want to make sure that that experience is as best as it could be. And if you're like me, you walk into maybe a revenue office and you're pressed for time, you walk in that door and you see a lot of people in there. And you're not really sure how long you're going to have to wait. And a lot of us don't have 1 hour to kind of sit around and wait to be served. We need to get in, get out, get back to work. And so we're excited to announce today that we're offering the option to be able to go online and for you to be able to pick a day and pick a time for you to come in the office and do your business. And when you walk in the office, your wait time will be minimal. They'll serve you within a few minutes. You'll have the opportunity to get your business done and then be about your life. We think that's really, really important for our Kansans to be able to put them back in control of their schedule as opposed to just sitting around and waiting for something to happen. That is giving people an effective and efficient customer experience. Now, we've already been piloting this program. We've done that in several offices around the state. We've already had, I think so far, 7,000 appointments completed since December, which is just phenomenal. The Bentonville office, which is one of our really more heavily trafficked offices, they're averaging already about 100 appointments per day. So we're in the process of rolling that out through the rest of the state. We would expect to have that process completed sometime toward late spring, early summer. So I would encourage you, if you're needing to make a visit to our revenue office in the near future, go online, dfa.arkansas.gov, and you'll see options there for going and selecting an office that you want to visit and seeing what the available appointment times are. Now, I want to let you know as well, we're still going to take walk-ins. You know, sometimes you just can't plan your schedule and you won't be able to walk in and get something taken care of. So walk-ins are still definitely welcome. But for those who can plan their appointment, plan ahead, select a day, select a time, and then you don't have to worry about having an extended wait when you come to see us. And then the second thing I want to announce is the rollout of what we're calling mobile ID. Currently, you know, we have our physical driver's license, and it has all the credentialing that you need to have in order to be able to operate a motor vehicle in Arkansas. Also the proof of identity for travel or for engaging in commerce for age-restricted products. Well, mobile ID takes all that information and it puts it on your phone. It's an encrypted solution. It lets you be able to control what information that you're sharing and gives you the opportunity to be able to, at some point, be able to avoid using a actual physical license. Now, in the near term, you'll probably still have to have that license for driving your car because we haven't quite yet equipped all of law enforcement with the devices to be able to read that. But in the short term, you're going to have a couple of real opportunities for use cases for that app. For example, we're in the beginning stages working with TSA, and to be able to authenticate and audit the app that we've developed. We would hope to have that process with TSA completed sometime this summer. Now, I want you to imagine this. Once that process is completed, you have your driver's license information on your device. You have your boarding pass on your device. When you get ready to travel, all you have to do is have that phone and go through security. You don't have to worry about, like me, digging in your pockets, or my wife digging in her purse and getting the driver's license out, and then constantly being worried about whether or not you left your driver's license someplace. So we're really excited about the opportunities that mobile ID presents. For our merchants as well. If you're a merchant, let's say, who it's a restaurant or you're a bar, and you want to make sure the IDs that are being presented to you are authentic, valid IDs. That establishment will be able to have an app. As somebody comes up to the door and they want to check the ID, they can check it, make sure that it's not a fraudulent ID, that it's a real ID, it is a valid ID, and know the person they're dealing with has the ability to actually buy something that's restricted for people 21 or over. So we're really excited about these. We think these are very pro-consumer, pro-Arkansan measures, and we're incredibly happy to be able to roll it out today. And with that, I'm going to invite Charlie to come up and tell you some details about both initiatives.
Thank you very much, Jim. So the appointment scheduling, the thing we love so much about it is if somebody's waiting after they've pulled a number, you really feel like you're kind of helpless and you're at the mercy of things you can't control. But with the appointment option, you'll now have this opportunity to give yourself a little bit more control. We're not going to have appointments in every single revenue office. Right now, we don't have all the revenue offices that will eventually have appointments, so we're at the very early phases of this, but what we like about it is we're out in front. Some states have appointment systems, but not many other states do. So this is something that's an innovation that Arkansas is picking up on, and it's proved very easy, especially because another one of the aspects that goes with the appointments is the ability to share your documents in advance. One of the things we can all be concerned about when we go in a revenue office, did I bring all the right documents or not? And so that appointment process can help you make sure you did that. Very excited about appointments. Keep your eye on that. It'll continue to grow. With regard to the mobile ID, you can obtain one by going to the App Store for Apple or the Google Play Store and simply searching for Arkansas Mobile ID, AR Mobile ID. And then you'll get the opportunity to download that app, and it's free for you to create one. In order to create the app, you do have to have an Arkansas driver's license or an Arkansas Real ID. And let me just explain briefly how these things are different. For many, many years, we've had a driver's license. Then 9/11 occurred. And Congress decided that state driver's licenses did not require enough information to give the federal authorities confidence that they were going to accurately protect against potential misidentity, whether it's terrorists or anything else. So they designed something that was better at protecting IDs. The name of that thing is a real ID. When you get a real ID, you've given us more information, we have more confidence, more documentation of who you are. So a driver's license or a real ID is the document that's in your wallet. Once you have one or the other, you can then get a mobile ID, and the mobile ID will be reflective. If you've got the real ID, the mobile ID will have those extra clarifications. What difference does it make? Well, the TSA, federal authorities, are focusing more and more on the requirements of a real ID as opposed to a driver's license. Another option, of course, is a passport. But when you're looking at your driver's license or your real ID, for now, you can use either one of those with the TSA. In the future, that's not going to be the case. So there's target dates that are out there, but at some point in the future, they're literally going to prevent people from being able to use just a straight driver's license. But for now, either one of those will work very smoothly with a mobile ID. With regard to one use case of the driver's license, it's going to be a while before law enforcement communities are able to routinely process mobile IDs. One of the things we're doing here in Arkansas at DFNA is getting way out in front of the technology. So our mobile ID is something that exists and it's a great source of ID, but by the time all of the law enforcement agencies have the equipment that's required to read this and you can use it routinely, is going to be a while. So I just say that because sometimes when a person makes an announcement, we think that the use cases are fully baked in, and they're just not, because there's technology involved. And even when we get Arkansas law enforcement up to speed 100%, many of us drive out of
Well, you can download it today. I think in terms of the business community adopting it, there's probably just going to be a little bit of a education season. We'll be meeting with them, particularly like our ABC enforcement agents, to make sure that bars are aware of this technology. So it'll probably take a few weeks or months for them to adopt it, but it's free to them as well. So we would encourage any merchant that engages in commerce that has an age-restricted product, please consider mobile ID as part of your identity verification solution.
So you encourage people to still carry their physical ID up with them for the near future?
Well, I think for the indefinite future, particularly from a standpoint of driving your vehicle, you have to have that physical ID, and I don't want to get in trouble with Secretary Hager. So have your driver's license when you're in your car.
Other questions? Does anyone else have any other questions? If not, then I'd like to thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So you mentioned that it may take a while for officers to have access to this. How long do you expect that process to roll out?
I think it'll probably be over, a few years implementing that, because you're thinking about all the different law enforcement agencies in the state. It would require them to acquire equipment to be able to validate that. So we'll start working with the state police first and figure out what their needs are. They have so much equipment they have to wear, so we have to make sure that whatever this equipment is fits, kind of their kitting out for their troopers. So more to come on that, I would say.
And then one more
Yeah.
question. Just to clarify, this use is only available in the state of Arkansas, so you can't go out of state and use this app?
Well, you can, like for TSA example, once TSA validates the mobile ID for Arkansas, then they'll be able to be used in airports around the country. So you'll be able to use it everywhere.
Any other questions? I'll try and do a better job making sure I see every hand. Okay, I do not see any more questions, so I'd just like to,
Yep, real quick before you close, I want to just highlight something that Charlie said, which is really, really important. We're not done. We are not done. We're continuing to look at all of our processes. We're looking at every single way that maybe we may be inconveniencing a customer and asking the question, can we do better? And I absolutely believe every single day, all of us can do just a little bit better. So hopefully, I'll just tease it a little bit, more announcements to come at some point in the near future.
so with that, what I'd like to do is put a pin in it. I bragged to my boss that in the National McKinsey study from 2022, Arkansas DMVs were ranked number 7 out of 50 states plus the District of Columbia. And I said I thought that was pretty good. And he said, well, we're going to get above number 1, because the way to think about it isn't just how good are we compared to the other DMVs across the country, but rather how do we compare to everybody's favorite places to go. So we've got a very high standard that we're working on, and just like in my Navy days, yes sir, we're on it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank y'all.